What's up, y'all? If you are a therapist watching this, this will help you learn how to help your clients get out of stuck patterns and old trauma loops. In this video, we're going to cover why some of your clients are staying stuck and how Somatic Qigong and how these tools can really help you to get better results with your healing work, whatever it may be, whether you're a coach, therapist, trainer, but this is the tending to the emotional body with these somatic tools. That is the game changer. So first, I've been in this wellness field. I've been a personal trainer for over a decade, a therapist for over a decade. And what I've noticed is there's a similar theme across the board, okay? So when somebody comes in and, the first challenge is they're stuck in some old habit, some old loop, right? Whatever it is, fear, doubt, some emotional body issue. So that's one of the first challenges, is how do we help our clients get unstuck from an old trauma or trigger pattern? As much as I love talk therapy, and it is an important part of a holistic framework, right? To bring context and to help to observe the trigger and make a new relationship with the pattern. But that is not enough for transformation. The missing key that I found in my own work is the emotional body, is the felt sense of safety, the felt sense of trust. And so when somebody is dealing with a core wound, whatever it may be, wherever it may be from, what's most important is having the somatic tools to navigate those challenging emotions so that by the end of the session, they have a new felt sense in their nervous system of safety, of trust, versus fear or doubt or anger. So how do we help a client move through that arc of expressing through somatic practices, through breath, movement, sound, and touch, which are the 4 somatic tools in Somatic Qigong, which will change your therapy practice, and you'll see your clients able to self-regulate their nervous system so that they don't get stuck in their mind, right? And so what I've seen with too much talk and not enough embodiment is we are now talking about the pain, over-analyzing the pain, trying to create new strategies, when what we need to do is give them a new felt experience in their body, in their heart, in their soul, instead of just speaking about it. Does this make sense? And something that you can only experience. And some of you, I'm sure, have experienced this in your own healing journey. What is that felt shift like, right? So that's kind of the first challenge that these somatic practices will help you, is to help your clients ground into their body, into their emotional body, and speak and express from that place, to move the energy versus speaking about what's going on, okay? So that's number one. The second challenge that you may face, and I have as a mind-body therapist, is my client's healing begins to stagnate, or some roadblocks, or there's some sense of there's something that's incomplete and we can't move forward until we get to the root of this, right? So at the heart of this work that I'm sharing with you, Somatic Qigong, is medical Qigong. And what that means is getting to the root of the dis-ease, okay? So whatever pattern is manifesting as a disease, whatever the symptoms are, we must go a step underneath that. So if we're working with anger, as an example, somebody has anger issues, there's some patterns of abuse perhaps, whatever it may be, what's the root? What's underneath that? And how do we create safety so they can feel and come to a new place of healthy boundary within their being, right? So every emotion has a use. So the term training our emotional body becomes very relevant here, when the trauma is not stuck in the brain, it's not stuck in the mind. The trauma, the patterns are stuck in the cellular system, are stuck in the nervous system, right? In the nerve plexuses, actually. And we know now scientifically that all 7 primary nerve plexuses, okay, the endocrine system, are connected to all 7 chakras, okay? So this is going into energetic anatomy which we'll have another video for later. So this second point around, we've hit a wall with our clients. There's a stagnancy point, some self-sabotage tendencies maybe come in, right? And perhaps you feel you don't have the tools to take them that step deeper, right? To allow them to actually move through the anger in a healthy way, and then now into compassion, right? And so this ability to use, specifically we have a few primary somatic practices that we use for emotional release, for very specific types of emotional wounds, okay? And it changes the game. So now I know when I'm working with a client, I can feel and sense, okay, here's the emotional energy that we're working with. Here's the block that they keep dancing around, right? Whatever that is, okay? Now I can help them come into their body, come into the felt sense, and see, where does it live in their body? What is it connected to, right? Is it from childhood? Is it from past life? Is it from wherever it's from? What is the root of this thing? And then we can touch that area. We can breathe into that area. We can tone into that area. And it's also been scientifically proven that sound vibration, right, allows us to go into deep states of consciousness. So we're going underneath the mental chatter and not talking about these anger issues or fear issues, and actually sensing and feeling and connecting to the roots, where they come from, right? And oftentimes these patterns are handed down to us. So these unconscious patterns, these unconscious beliefs from our parents, from society, right? That then as a therapist, practitioner, or healer, we're able to help walk them through that process, okay? In this video, we're not gonna run through those processes. Just know that we have very specific protocols for handling each one of these kinds of emotional wounds. This third challenge is that our clients are not sustaining their breakthroughs, okay? And this is a sign of a couple things. One is emotional regulation and nervous system regulation, okay? So this may show up as your client is falling back into hypervigilance, anxiety, fight or flight, right? They feel great for a week and then they're back to whatever old habits. The other way it shows up is as depression or freeze, right? They were so inspired and now they can't follow through and they kind of fall off the wagon, right? And this is all a sign of nervous system exhaustion sometimes, or emotional overwhelm. So if you're seeing a client week to week and they tell you, you know, I feel good for about 2 or 3 days after a session, and then something happens, it's like, well, they don't have an embodied somatic practice that they can do daily to allow the magic and the medicine to keep working, to allow the energy and the breakthrough that you came to in your session, that now they are empowered with a simple 5, 10, 15-minute practice to keep that energy working, right? And so we've talked about these 4 somatic tools, the breath, the movement, the sound, and the touch, to regulate our nervous system and feel a sense of safety in our emotional body. So that way we can have lasting change that is sustainable now, where you're not having all the answers, you're not here healing them, they're empowered to heal themselves. So as a therapist or coach, somatic Qigong will solve a lot of these issues in a few different ways. Number one is empower you to help your client learn to regulate their nervous system and their emotions. It will give them the capacity to handle challenging emotions and not feel overwhelmed by what's coming up, so that they can move through trigger patterns with more ease and more grace. And it will give you the skillful means in the moment to pause them, to help them slow down and feel what's actually coming through, so that way they don't go into fight or flight or freeze. And now your client is empowered, okay? And lastly, one of the most important things is strengthen your client's resilience, both physically and emotionally, through many of the soft and hard Qigong forms that only take maybe 10 minutes. This will allow your client to reset the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve, and really empower you with these skills and in the moment practices to help your client, okay? As a therapist, if you're ready for your clients to have meaningful embodied shifts rather than just mental breakthroughs, and if you're ready to facilitate change on a deep level rather than simply give answers, then I invite you to explore our year-long Somatic Qigong Practitioner program that will give you these somatic tools and these precise skills to really support your clients in a profound and simple way. Have an amazing rest of your day, and peace for now.